my dear students, as we are discussing about the major duties and responsibilities offered by business office supervisor, this is not sufficient. We also have to consider the job specification components of interview. And you know that the job specification components of interview include education, prior work experience, and specialized skills and knowledge in the field of business office supervision. So we have to consider some of the important components of job specification as well. So number one, you have to consider that extensive experience in the billing, receiving, payroll, and collection is available to the candidate. If they have an extensive experience in billing and receiving payrolls and collections, then it is good. It means they have a relevant work experience. Number two, you have to need to analyze whether the candidate has an ability to prepare, analyze, present financial reports. If they can present financial reports, if they can offer financial reports in an effective manner to the company, then it means they have an ability to do the job in a wonderful way. And number three, accounting degree desirable. It is important to have an accounting degree. Sometimes some people are very good in work experience. They know that how to develop a payroll. But one component of the job specification is knowledge as well, is qualification as well. So you have to consider the qualification in addition to the work experience, or you have to consider work experience in addition to the qualification as well. So both components are important. And in addition to the qualification, work experience, you must have to analyze the ability of the person to do different kind of jobs. So these are the important components in addition to the duties and responsibilities we discussed in previous session. Then we also have to know about the job specific experience and education questions. Sometimes you are just looking at something on paper, but it is important to ask some cross questions. So how you would ask questions? Here are some of the examples which I would like to share. For the business office supervisor, you can ask number one question, for example, please describe your activities at your current job in a typical day. If he would describe his major duties and responsibilities or major activities at your day, you would be able to know that whether the person has some specific knowledge and experience in that area, because he is explaining some of the typical activities in the job, and that activities can be related to the qualification of the person, can be related to his experience, can be related to his ability to work in the organization on that particular role. Number two, that is very important question. Are there any other activities you might be asked to perform? What are they? Sometimes you know that some organizations also mention other activities. If you are an accountant, you may be asked to do some other activities in the organization. So it is important to ask about other activities performed in the organization in addition to his/her core role. His/her core role can be a business office supervisor, but he may need to perform some additional activities. So these activities need to be asked by such kind of questions. And number three, of these activities, which would you identify as your primary responsibility? Sometimes candidates are explaining number of activities in the employment interview, but those activities are not the part of their primary responsibilities. It shows that the person is not doing the primary job, but they are doing a lot of miscellaneous activities within his job portfolio. So you need to be very critical in asking such kind of question, that whether these activities are the part of your primary responsibilities or these are just an activities for the sake of activities at that particular job. Number four, approximately what percentage of your time would you say you devote to this responsibility? It is not a good idea to ask all of the broader question. Ask specific question, pinpoint question, and that is very focused question, that you are asking the percentage of your time you are devoting to any particular responsibility or any particular activity in the job. And that would actually explore that what candidates were actually doing in his previous job in a typical day. And number five, you have indicated that organizing the billing of your office is primary responsibility. Do you also plan and control the billing? So this is another more advanced question. You are asking about control and planning of the billing as well. And then, what are your responsibilities with regard to receiving and paying function? This is another secondary question. Number 7, tell me about a time when you ran into a problem with regard to organizing the billing. So this is also a very nice question, that you are not only asking things which are very smooth, but you are asking the question about the problems the person may face or facing in his previous job about the organizing the billing and its information. So this is very good and critical question as well. And number 8, what are your responsibilities with regard to receiving and paying functions? So this is also a very relevant question which need to be asked. And number 9, tell me about a time when you ran into a problem with regard to organizing the billing for your office and what happened. This is sort of a storytelling approach that the person can explain that he may face a problem and he handled the problem in a way. That is about the problem handling. So in addition to the job specific question, you may ask some generic question that how a person is handling problems and how he can work in a tough conditions. So these are the questions which must need to be mentioned in employment interviews. And you can develop such kind of questions for each and every major job in the organization.